Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling tired for no clear reason? Not hungry, not hurt, just a little empty. You replay it later and think, why was that so hard? Nothing dramatic happened, but somehow just talking to them cost you more energy than it should have. If this keeps happening, it's not because you're weak or you're not even understanding. And it's not because you're bad with people. It's because some people don't talk, they consume. Now, this is what you think is happening. Most people think toxic conversations are loud, insults, yelling, and obvious disrespect. But the exhausting ones are quieter. It's the person who always needs one more explanation. The one who keeps misunderstanding simple things. The one who turns every statement into a discussion. You say something normal, they hear something personal. You slow down. You clarify. You explain again, differently this time. And that's when you start leaking energy. Not because you're wrong, but because you've stepped into a conversation that doesn't run on understanding. It runs on attention. Now, let's break down the real mechanism. Here's what a lot of people overlook. Toxic people don't want clarity. They don't want answers. They want engagement. It's that simple. They need you to keep engaging, keep explaining, continue the cycle in a short period of time. Think of attention like money. Every time you explain yourself, you're paying, and they never stop charging. Think of it as inflation. They don't listen to understand, they listen to keep you talking. That's why nothing ever lands. That's why resolutions never come. That's why the conversation feels endless. You're trying to close the door. They're trying to keep it open. Because open doors means access. And you may be asking, access to what? Access to the solution. But they don't want solutions. They want that energy. So this is why explaining backfires. Most people respond the same way. They try harder. They add context. They soften their tone. They give examples. But explaining more doesn't fix the problem. It feeds it. Because now the toxic person isn't confused. They're rewarded. It's like you guys are playing two different games. What you're focused on and what they're focused on is two different things. But think about it. They got your time. They got your focus. They got control of the pace. And slowly, without realizing it, you shift roles. You stop talking to them and you start talking for them. That's when the exhaustion hits. Now let's hit the deeper layer, right? Some people don't build relationships through understanding. They build them through extraction. They measure connection by how much they can pull from you. Your explanations, your reactions, your emotional labor. When you stop feeding that system, it collapses, it goes away, it disappears. Not loudly, not quietly, and that's why distance feels threatening to them. Because as you start to become more aware of what is actually taking place, you pull back. And during that pullback phase, they are now the ones that are losing control and not in control. And toxic people hate that. Now let's talk about the shift that kind of changes everything. The moment you stop explaining, something interesting happens. The conversation doesn't improve. It doesn't soften. It doesn't suddenly become mutual, it either collapses or reveals its true shape. Some people lean in harder, pressing for more access, more clarification, more emotional proof. Others disengage entirely, and that reaction tells you everything you need to know. Healthy people adjust when information is limited. Toxic people panic when access is restricted. That's because the exchange was never about understanding. It was about maintaining a channel where they could pull from you without resistance. When you stop filling that channel, the illusion fades. You'll feel an urge to fix it, to smooth it over, to make it comfortable again. That urge is not empathy, it's conditioning. You were trained to believe that tension means failure. In reality, tension is often the moment a boundary becomes visible. Silence is not a mistake. Silence is data. Now let's get into the why you feel guilty afterwards. After these conversations, the exhaustion isn't always the worst part. The guilt is. You wonder if you were too cold, too distant, too dismissive. You reflect on yourself. You replay your words, searching for where you could have been clearer, kinder, more accommodating. That guilt doesn't come from wrongdoing. It comes from violating an unspoken rule. You are supposed to keep giving. Toxic dynamics train you to equate your worth with your availability. Come on. You know that to be true. When you interrupt that pattern, your system, you can feel it, flags it as danger. This is where panic and anxiety comes into play. When you start to wander and think hard, is because you interrupted the pattern, even if nothing bad actually happened. This is why toxic people barely have to push. Most of the work is done internally. You correct yourself for them. You soften for them. You reopen doors they never earn access to. The moment you see this clearly, the fatigue makes sense. You weren't tired because the conversation was hard. You were tired because you were carrying the entire structure alone. Now, how to handle toxic people without escalation. The solution isn't confrontation, not by a long shot. And it's not by disappearing either. It's compression, shorter answers, fewer qualifiers, no emotional padding. You say what you mean, once clearly, and you stop performing. You don't rush to fill silence. You don't defend obvious statements. You don't chase mutual understanding where none is being offered. This isn't cruelty, it's clarity. Toxic people struggle with compressed communication because it removes leverage. There's nothing to pull on, nothing to twist, nothing to misinterpret creatively. Either they adjust to the new terms, or the interaction naturally loses momentum. Both outcomes are acceptable. Peace doesn't require agreement. It requires containment. Now, how you reframe things changes everything. You are not responsible for how much energy other people need to function. You're not required to keep conversations alive at your own expense. And you do not owe clarity to people who use confusion as a tool. Some individuals will always feel drained around you the moment you stop feeding the dynamic they depend on. That doesn't make you difficult. It makes you unavailable for extraction. Once you understand this, something settles. You stop chasing resolution. You stop explaining the obvious. You start recognizing when a conversation has already told you what it is. And instead of feeling tired, you feel clean, quiet, and intact. Now, if we pull the lens back for greater understanding, everything is in black and white, and there's a reason why everything happens. So if this resonated with you, there's a reason. You're likely not dealing with one type of mind. You're dealing with several and treating them all the same way. In my previous video, 4 different types of thinkers, I break down how fundamentally different cognitive styles create the exact misunderstandings and how to adjust without losing yourself in the process. Watch that next if you want clarity instead of exhaustion. It will be in the video, pinned right here at the end. Now, before you click on that, for life to change, you must first understand. For patterns to change, you must first understand the seed in which everything is created from. And everything has an entry point. Everything has a seed in which something grows from. And understanding that seed allows you to navigate how you need to. And that's what I'm here for, to help you navigate. A lot of things forces you to act uncharacteristically to save yourself. When handling life, you cannot just go through the motion. You have to pinpoint and recognize exactly what is happening, because people will put you in a blender and they will spin you round and round for years and years. Oh, we have so much to go through. But leave your comments, questions, or concerns. Be sure to subscribe, and we got a journey ahead of us. Be blessed, and I'll see you in the next one.